Well, Oliver, thank you so much for helping my project. And it was so great to meet you at the Inspiration 4 launch. You were just saying right before I started recording about how special that was. I was wondering if maybe you could pick up from there.
Yeah, just I would say I don't know, not to say that it was once in a lifetime, but that just the realization of that moment of, a lot of us who didn't know each other 6 months before that, who were there to see, feel, and be there as part of a unique and a first historical moment of that mission, and just I would say the energy of the people gathered there for that, beyond the mission itself, also the cause that it served with St. Jude's. But it was fantastic. It was special, and I mean, and I think the connections and the relationships and of all of us who met together, who met there at that time, I think it's gonna last forever, man. I really do.
And I agree with you. Once in a lifetime. Let's not say that, but a first in a
No,
lifetime.
well, once in a lifetime for the time that he was, and the event that he was. But as Jared said it, it's just the beginning, huh?
I sure hope so. And I thought I heard a VP from SpaceX. I saw something on Twitter about there being like multiple other flights to be announced this year. I don't understand the types of flights or what these are, but
I think these are the missions that are gonna go to the space station, and I forgot the name of the company who is organizing those flights.
Axiom probably.
Correct. So that's from what I heard. That's what it is. But maybe there is something else. Maybe one day we'll find in the news, but maybe one day we will be the news. So here we are.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, hopefully someday getting on a spaceship is like taking a trip to Antarctica or to the top of a mountain. Not
Yes.
something you do every day, but something you could do if you wanted to.
I think it's gonna be a progressive thing, because so what we now see every day as a first step is the up and downs, just going over the space barrier frontier, so 100 kilometers, okay, Kármán line, okay, not Kármán line, okay, there's a diversion between the British and the Americans, but we're gonna be okay as long as you can expand microgravity. I think the customer and the customer will be happy. But I think it's going to be a progressive thing. I think you cannot run before you learn how to walk. So from a space standpoint, on the way we're going to go there, first we need to go up and down. Then second thing that I think is going to need to move on to the general public is to live in low Earth orbit, and not just as the scientists of NASA and all the wonderful people and trained astronauts who are doing it, but everyday folks like you and I, who have, yes, like obviously something interest in space, but that could use our skills and mindset of to do things, to create a community, to create a working life environment, and that is just not like very sanitized everywhere. Maybe we'll have the first bar in space. I sure hope I'll be there for that one. But point being, it's going to be a progressive thing. So low Earth orbit, living there, and then yes, and then next step, yes, going to the moon, living on the moon, and having these travels there, the return, because it's a return, and then beyond that, beyond the moon, Mars, I think, will be next. But I think we are grateful and blessed that you and I are living in a time where we will see, I think, a good chunk of this happening in our lifetime. I really think so.
It's amazing to think back a year. Last January, we had no clue at that point in time that the Inspiration 4 mission was even going to happen. Like, I mean, It literally just popped out of nowhere.
It did. It did. I mean, when I look back at everything that is bringing us together today, you're right. I mean, I read the first time about the Super Bowl ad, and I was like, what? What's going on here? And then I applied. I did the prosperity seat. I did the Sanjut seat. I did all the possible seats I could possibly do, but just on the idea that, I mean, and it's like, I think a lot of us, I mean, I'm 47-year-old, and since I've been a kid, I've always like dream of the idea, like, I cannot tell you how many times I watch the HBO series From the Earth to the Moon, which is such a great show. I'm sure you saw it, and I must have watched it 50 times. I'm not kidding, and I didn't count, but in the span of, and what's interesting is that I always rewatch it with that same freshness of discovery and enthusiasm and wonder, and it's mind-boggling. It's not just like science or astronautics. It's the idea we are doing this. This is stunning. This is stunning. So anyway, just to say that, yeah, we live in a time where we are really blessed and lucky to that somehow finally the evolution of the space economy, the evolution of the space industry, and the realization that at the beginning, for the launch of the industry, yes, it relied heavily on public government funded investments. But as things have progressed and as history has taught us, the private sector has been enabled to get in. And when we are looking at the situation, I'm sure you must smile and laugh about that, of what's going on with Boeing and their development and SpaceX. But Elon must laugh every day. Huh? The taxpayer like me, we're not laughing so much because it's a lot of money that we don't know. Like, but when you think about the vision, I mean, what he started like was 15 years ago, I think, when he created the company. It's visionary. It's visionary, and that's amazing. That as weird as the individual can be, because he's very weird. He had this vision. He put it in. He created that, and here we are. We launched last year, first 4 civilians in a low Earth orbit, free. I mean, yeah. So what's next? And that can be achieved by someone like Elon Musk, but as well as someone like Jeff Bezos, which I'm absolutely not dismissing. Although he had a, I won't say a late start in the game. He wants to be in the game, and I think he's going to be a key player in the game.
Well, on one hand, you say late start, but did you know that Blue Origin actually was founded before SpaceX?
I didn't know, but I'm not surprised. And yeah, yes. I mean, the thing about history. History usually has a bad trend to record the people who are successful first. So the first step. I'm the second. Yeah, but we don't know your name anymore. We remember the. Buzz who? What? Anyway, but you know the story. So yes, no, I get it. I understand. But I still think that Blue Origin has definitely its place to play. And I think for you and I, as people aspiring one day to go up, the more you have companies, organizations, spacecraft that will be capable of doing so, the more we have chances to make it happen.
Yeah, I sure hope so. I still think the most likely experience that you and I will, most likely chance that you and I will have an experience of actually being in space will be taking a starship between 2 places on Earth.
It could be. It could be. It's definitely, I'm sure, a vision that Mr. Branson must have in his mind somewhere, because I mean, he's been involved so many, since so many years in the world of air transportation, that moving from air transportation to space transportation makes sense. Yeah, we will see. We shall see. But I thoroughly think that, and I think you can see that when you act as a group versus each individual trying to say, pick me, pick me, pick me. No. I really think that what we have started since 4 or 5 months ago with the group, I think that's what we need to focus on and capitalize on, and then start creating some buzz and who we are, what we want to do, who we are. I'm working on that, by the way. I'll share some information with you soon, but I started to work on something, so I'll share.
Yeah, you reminded me of a quote I heard. It said, you could go faster alone, but you could go further together.
It's very true, Nate. Very true in so many aspects. And obviously, I don't know if you remember, but when we met and you met some people who are characters and like, yeah, me. But at the end of the day, you look at where you are realistically, where you can go, and you realize that acting as a group is probably going to give you more chances to make things happen, because when you know about that's the truth in life, the 6 degrees of relationship and connection and separation. So when you take these 6 degrees and you multiply not by one individual, but let's say by 15 or 24, obviously I just sent an email to Jared Isaacman the other day. He did not respond. It's okay, he didn't accept my email, but just the fact that you can have access to this, and then they hear you 1 time, 2 times. He likes our post, he likes our stuff, he loves beer, you know what I mean? You build stuff. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. But we started. And I think in the concept of who we are, what we do, what we want, I'm not sure there are some other people in the United States or in the world who have that drive. So I think it's something unique, and I think that's something we can capitalize on and focus on. And I think slowly but steadily, or ferociously for some companies, as they like to mention it, we will go there. We will go there. So yes, exciting times.
It is exciting times. I'm just trying to understand what the opportunities are. Because if you have like a group of people, you could see them like having a lottery, kind of like selling tickets for a chance to go on a Blue Shepard launch or a Inspiration 4 type of mission. But then you have to like pull in so many people into that lottery, and only one of them is going to get it. Yeah.
So what I don't know. I don't see it much as a lottery as that. Elon will speak with him, because I think he's the most advanced in the game of what he's trying to do and what he wants to do, and how he sees things. He said we are an interplanetary species. Obviously, with the Starship, he's not just going to send 2 people. He's going to want to prove his point. So he's going to send groups. I don't know, 10, 12, 20. It's going to happen. And obviously, if there is the first group of 24 people that will be considered, you and I, we both know we will be there to say, pick me, huh? And I think that's the way I see things, because a mission like Inspiration 4, finding another billionaire who's gonna sponsor, the mission goes to Jared, what, 400-500 million roughly, maybe, I don't know. So we could imagine, hey, here are the 24, we're gonna launch 4 Dragons at the same time. They're gonna be at the same time in orbit at 400 miles. We go a little further, leave that, we'll stay a week beyond the 3 days. I see that as maybe something like that, but it will happen like I'm thinking like Elon, who is able to give a lot of money for a good cause or for investing in business in things that he believes. Maybe that will happen like that. Hey, the Site 24 guys, they look crazy, but hey, let's go for it. But not crazy, but in the sense that, again, of the crew and the group that we are, we have like the skills and also the one of the things that I think a lot of people do not realize or undermine, and that was very well shown in the show Countdown, by the way, is the emotional and psychological impact, not on the people who are leaving, but on the people who are left behind. And it was just 3 days. But I mean, I'm sure you must have seen Chris' wife. She kept the smile. She was not a happy camper. And I think, you know, when we think we hear, oh, we want to go. I have a wife and 2 kids. Yes, I want to go, but you know, I will go minimizing the risk. I am not like certain people who say I want to die on Mars. No, I have no desire to die on Mars or anywhere, as a matter of fact, or not too soon. But yes, there are some things that I could commit and do, but not at any cost. And the human cost, you know, and it was very well shown in the documentary. I thought personally, the emotional toll until they splashed down, they were back. I was like, you heard people. I hope they'll never do it again. It was 3 days. It's tough. It's tough. And I think, you know, when you hear, you know, people who go stay in the space station for 6 months or a year, they come back. It's tough. It's tough, even if you see other people and stuff like that. But it's your family. It's your, you know, close connections. So what will be very interesting is that in the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years, is when that the space is going to be more democratized, and you'll be able to send significant others together, husband and wife, maybe husband and wife and kids, like. And that dimension will definitely make, I think, the experience easier for the people who are up there. So we're talking about not just like, hey, we're going there, visit and stay there. We're talking about living there, staying there. And it's going to create, what's also interesting is that obviously all this is going to create a whole new economy, industry. I mean, I don't know where we're going, but we're going, no question. Yeah.
But I mean, people don't have that type of reaction whenever you get in a car or fly on an airplane, right? So do you think people would have that same emotional toll if there was no you know, Columbia accident, no Challenger accident? Because you know, it's the thought of what could go wrong. And if nothing's gone wrong, is that still top of mind? I mean, people are afraid that, oh my gosh, these are going to be my loved ones that are going to die in this Columbia accident.
Well, technically, even if the risk is minimized, there is always a risk. You remember when they launched in September, what they said 2 minutes before the takeoff? In case of a situation, we will guide you to evacuate the area. Okay, so you didn't say it, but we understand. Okay, technically, you are sitting on millions of pounds of components of explosives. Okay, we understand that. That's why we are at a minimum of 5 miles away from the launch. And technically, when you're going to be up there, you're going to travel at 17,000 miles an hour. So which means that technically, the time of reaction, if anything happens, is very, very small. So I think for all those reasons, people are, well, obviously, if you are on a bicycle at 5 miles an hour, you are less likely to die than if you are traveling at 17,000 miles an hour and something hurts your spacecraft. So I think, this is it. But it is part of the risk, part of the risk that I would be willing to take. But again, a measured risk. I would not do. I'm not a daredevil. Although I flew on a jet fighter for my 40th birthday, but that's besides the point. And I could talk about my jet fighter experience. So, when I've seen in Countdown Inspiration 4, flight on a jet fighter, checked. It's already done. But I've not flown in a zero gravity plane. That I want to do. I know you want to do it too. So for sure.
Actually, I've flown in a zero gravity plane.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Me and my sons, we did that back, I think, in 2017.
Oh, cool. How old you say you have sons? How old are they?
The oldest one, he is 23, and the youngest one's 19.
Wow, they were young to do that. This is awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
2017?
Yeah, I think 2017. So they were both in high school at the time. Or maybe one was in college, one was in high school.
So how did it feel, Nate?
It felt surprising. When you read it in science fiction books, they always talk about having this sense of falling. Yes. You don't feel like you're falling at all. You're just floating. You just feel weightless, and you have no sense of pressure or weight or direction, and it's a nice feeling.
It's a little bit like swimming to some extent. Does it have that a little bit?
Well, in swimming, you still know which way is down.
Right.
Here you don't. Like, you turn flips, and you really, if your eyes were closed, you would think you were staying still.
Really? Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Well, it's on my bucket list of things to do for sure. I've done a few things in my life, but that one is definitely on my bucket list. Anyway, it's part of the plan. Now that I have your email, I'll send you and some people in the group for which I have their email. Like I can share a first draft of the project.
I would be interested in seeing it. But it's going to make space accessible to more people, you're saying?
No doubt.
Well, we definitely need more plans like that.
No doubt, for sure. And let's be realistic. It takes a lot of money and technologies, but if we put our thoughts together and we know to push the right buttons of investment and operations, SpaceX, Blue Origin, others, that's the way we're gonna do. Huh?
And it's amazing, like Rocket Labs. I mean, from New Zealand. And I'm talking this weekend to a rocket builder in Kenya who's making big rockets. That's exciting. I'm like, he could be the Rocket Labs of Africa.
It's I shared with the group yesterday on the that company was looking to build a space station. I mean, I've never heard about them or anything, and maybe I won't spend as much money as Keith did on his investments, but nevertheless, I'm gonna look into it because this is something that A, I'm interested in, B, I believe, and see if it makes sense and it doesn't sound too crazy, and I can ask my space peers like you, hey, do you think it's stupid or it's a waste of time and money? Then it's interesting. But again, it all connects what I was telling you before about, hey, now I don't feel since September 14 and 15, the first people, but I feel like my entire life I've been pretty alone in that passion and enthusiasm and stuff like that. And now I found a group of people, friends, connections, who we all come from so many different backgrounds and cultures and histories, but we are linked together with this passion, enthusiasm, vision that is leading us to talk, you and I, today. And it's so refreshing and so nice. And I don't know, I can't find exactly the words to say. It's really unique, very unique.
And it's a worldwide global phenomenon. I was just reading yesterday how Japan wants their astronaut to be one of the first non-Americans to step foot on the moon.
Yes, and the first one of the first paying passengers for the flight around the moon is this Japanese billionaire, right? If I'm not mistaken, with SpaceX.
Yeah, for the exactly, he's the one that's funding the Dear Moon project.
Yeah, the Dear Moon,
yeah. So it could be awesome. So when did you find out that NASA was planning to go to the moon?
A long time ago, 2008, something like that, when they were talking. I went to see the launch of STS-123 and 124. And when I was there, they were talking about the SLS, right? The Space Launch System. Orion, 2008. Here we are, a long time later, and there's still no rocket going up. And I remember the guy at the Kennedy Space Center said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have the first test next year." Blah blah blah. They were dreaming, huh? Completely dreaming. But yeah, it must have been like a good, since about that time that I had heard, because of the Orion project, that was like, you know what I mean? That's how I kind of knew that there was a plan to go back to the moon. There is still a plan to go back to the moon. But see, that's the thing. Since 1972, there's plan to go back to the moon, and there is execution to go back to the moon. So, but I think we live in a time where finally the plans, or at least the visions, have realistic means to be achieved. So that's the big difference with 10 or 15 years ago, and just versus relying 10, 15 years ago only on, again, only public funded organization and operation versus privately funded operations and organizations that are a little bit more open-minded, business-driven, and maybe, I don't want to say have more curiosity about things, but definitely maybe are more risk takers in some ways than the traditional, hey, we go through NASA or ESA or JAXA to go to space. You know what I mean?
Yeah, talking about that, we do have two private companies that are landing, spacecraft on the moon this year, Astrobotics and Intuitive Machines.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, one of them is in Houston, Intuitive Machines. So kind of really excited about that. But actually, the first countdown to the moon videos that I did for the first year, I put on a micro SD card, and they're going to be on the Astrobotic lander.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. Awesome.
I'm not sure they'll be playable after the thermal changes and the radiation and all that, but
we'll only know. So they are coming back, I guess.
Oh, not coming back. They're just staying there. But I'm hoping at some point,
yes.
somebody on a
scavenger, you mean you'll be there? You'll bring a laptop. I like that. I like that. So it's a two-step approach for you. I like that, mate. It's very good. I like that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know. When are the missions taking place?
I think the Intuitive Machine one is being launched on a Falcon 9. Okay. And I believe it's probably going to be like maybe April, May, or summer. Now the Astrobotics one, it's launching on a Vulcan, which we're still waiting for the engines from Blue Origin.
Yes.
For that flight. So.
Yes. So how long are we gonna wait?
I don't know. But it's supposed to be the inaugural flight of the Vulcan with the the you know,
Would it be the rocket would be the New Glenn? Would it be the?
I know it's a ULA rocket called
Oh,
the
it is.
Vulcan.
Okay. So the engine is built by Blue Origin?
Yeah, yeah, it's the same engine that's on the New Glenn. So there's like a little touchy thing between Blue Origin and ULA right now. You know, Tony Bruno going, "Where's my engine?"
Yes, yes. You just need to talk to Leonardo DiCaprio to smooth things better, and everything's gonna be fine. just be nice with Jeff Bezos' girlfriend. That's all, you know. Everything's gonna be okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. People magazine, drama, space drama. Here we go. Anyway, interesting. No, I didn't know that. Okay, interesting.
So I kind of imagine this series of videos as being a time capsule. So if you could imagine for me, your great granddaughter on the Mars. She was born on Mars. She's lived on Mars her entire life. She's going to high school, just like people here go to high school. She'll be half the age as the high schoolers, though, because it takes 2 years to go around the science.
She will be very old high schooler.
Something like that. But she has this project she's doing for school. Mm-hmm. And the project is, what were people on Earth thinking before we took those next steps to the moon? What was life like? What were they feeling about the future of humanity? And she's happened upon this video, and you have the opportunity to make sure she gets top marks, an A in that class. So what do you have for her?
Well, once upon a time, there was a place called Earth, and it's a wonderful place to be. But my great granddaughter, now that you are about to embark on this work that you have to do for school, I am about to tell you that human curiosity and imagination is always taking us further and further, and I think it's built in our DNA to keep on going further and further. So today you are probably thinking that life is boring on Mars, but tomorrow maybe your grandchildren will travel to other galaxies or over other hundreds light years away or thousands of light years away. And I think no matter what you're doing, you always need to keep your sense of imagination and curiosity, because at the end of the day, that's what drives people further in life, in space, on Earth, and yes, in life in general, because that's what's, you know, drive the humankind to go explore. We are fundamentally explorers, and I think, you know, all this that is happening, our interest for space and to go beyond and to try to understand. We are trying to feed that need for curiosity and to understand. And I think that need will never ever be fulfilled. That's what will push us to go further and further. So I hope I was a good insight for your homework, and that when you see that video, you won't laugh about how you know, old or tired I look today.
That's awesome. I think I think she'll get an A.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, she's your great granddaughter.
I know. And I have a 2-year-old, I have a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old, so it's a little bit hard even to project. But yeah, yes, the future. You know, my family I come from a very old French family. Someone in the family traced back the origins of the family to the 900s in the southwest of France. So it's fascinating, right? 1200 years of history, and here we are. Yeah, continuing the legacy. So yeah, 1200 years from now, I mean, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting.
I sure hope so. I sure hope so. Well, I really appreciate the time, and
Of course.
you know, I got over 1,000 more days to go. So if you know anybody,
Yes, I will. I have some other people that I know that are, passionate about space, and definitely I'll talk to them, and I can, absolutely. And then I will keep you posted on the I will email you the first draft of the project, the things, and it's really open for discussion, and it's not really nothing is set in stone, but just on the see if most of the people in the group agree on the spirit and the idea.
I look forward to seeing it.
Yes, we'll take it from there. Yes.
Okay. Well, you have a good rest of your day. And
you too, Nate. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you again. And I sure hope I'll see you for real in 2022. One of the, we will, I mean, it would be nice to do a get together again, for sure. And there are some exciting things coming up in 2022 for the space world. So we will be there.
I'm looking forward to every one of them.
Yes, for sure. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.